Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack, this like no Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. It is Friday, May 22nd, 2026. As usual, I'm your host, Scott Lewis. I'm with my esteemed co-host, Mr. JR Bang. You can follow him at JR Bang on all social media platforms. You can follow me at Barchair Scott on all social media platforms. While you're here, please subscribe to my new YouTube channel, Scott's World of Sports. Road to 1K subscribers. We like it 683 right now. We done got these numbers up real heavy over the last 2 weeks. Let's keep that up. Subscribe to the Patreon. All those links are in the description box. So please help us out. We got a nice show for y'all today. I will explain while I'm wearing shades and why you see the jerseys of these two African kings in the background. But first, we have a birthday to celebrate. Mr. J.R. Bang, happy belated birthday, brother. You were still on mute, dog. And since it's your birthday, no fine.
Yes, no fine since this is the birthday, but no, 44. If you listen or watch some dude, I made a fool out of myself. When Mike B said, "Hey, so what legendary sports player wore number 44?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know, Derek Coleman." And I was like, "Oh, I tweaked because you got Hank Aaron, Reggie,
Patrick Williams.
Jackson, No, we won't even do that. We won't even do that. And George Gervin,
The Iceman.
Yes, it's like wow. I tweaked that day, but yep, 44, feeling good.
Kirk Thomas.
Oh, hey, look, Kirk Thomas, is he a legendary NBA name at this point now?
I mean, he's a legendary. Name. I want to call him legendary. He's a good role player. He's a good role player.
Yeah, but
let me see, Jake Peavy, former White Sox pitcher.
I'll take Jake Peavy.
Jake Peavy. So what are you doing to celebrate, or what have you done to celebrate?
Not a damn thing.
Okay.
I'm actually, I had went to Landon, the middle child school yesterday. Read to him and the kids.
So this is the second person I know to read the kids. You read the kids, and my man Mike read the kids. I told him, he told the kids. And right here, kids, this is where Jay-Z lost 92 bricks.
So no, man. And this weekend I'm going to Atlanta.
My favorite, one of my favorite cities.
Going to Atlanta to work with my Atlanta team. Birthday bashes this weekend. T.I., 2 Chainz. Who else? Soulja Boy.
Good old millennial fun.
Oh yeah, good old millennial fun is sold out. So I'm gonna be backstage working that thing. So busy weekend, a busy Memorial Day weekend ahead. And get back home on Monday. So yeah, it's spending at work. It's 44. Like
it's not 45,
right?
But you're still above ground.
Yeah,
which is always good.
It's a blessing.
Every time I come from the doctor, I'm like, you know what? Life is amazing. I always say, black men, go to the doctor. Like, go to the doctor. I know this is my after school special part right here. But every time I come from the doctor, and they're like, hey, you doing good. You pretty healthy for a fat dude.
Man,
like,
yeah.
That's real good. Like, you know, my blood pressure is good, which is awesome, because that joint was high a year ago. So it was high. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was so high that it got down to like normal levels now, and my my doctor was more excited than me. So black men, go to the doctor. Okay. Take care of that. And we got another birthday shout out. My boy Pat Vito.
Yes, sir.
He's no longer young Pat Vito. He's old Pat Vito. He's 35 years old.
Uncle
Shout out
Pavy.
to him.
Yes,
Yes,
Pavy.
Yeah, Unc Pavy. He is in Paris right now, celebrating his birthday, which is I think it's 11 o'clock out there right now. They're 7 hours ahead of us. Shout out to Pav.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's Memorial Day weekend. I'm grilling on Monday. I'm feeling good because my team won the Premier League. Now I gotta say, I know a lot of y'all who watch this show don't care about the beautiful game of soccer or football, and that's fine. I'm gonna let y'all know regardless, because this is my show and I get to do what the hell I want. So it has been, first of all, I forgot just how happy your team winning the championship makes you feel. Because it's been the Blackhawks won 11 years ago. But like I've told y'all many times on this platform, I'm a bandwagon Blackhawks fan. I don't really care about hockey. I think hockey is a fun sport. I have nothing against hockey. My issue with hockey is too many white people in it. I'm just going to be 100% real with you. So the picture that you see covered by this jersey right now, that's just here for decoration. But the last time a team that I blood, sweat, and tears and, live and die with was the White Sox. And we'll get to them later in this program. 21 years ago. So, yeah, I've only been a fan of this sport and this team for 15 years. Not 15 years, 15 months. But the amount of abuse I have gotten from other football fans in my social media comments, on Twitter, all of my homies who watch the sport telling me, as soon as I picked Arsenal, oh, you're attracted to losers. You love loser teams. They always bottle it. They're going to lose. Talk to me now. There's been a lot of people who ain't responded to my text this week. I'm just going to put that out there. A lot of people ain't responded to my text. It has been a very stressful 10-month season. See, that's the thing. With the NFL, it's about, 4 5 month season. NBA, 6. This soccer season is almost a calendar year. 10 months, bro. Every game has felt do or die because they haven't won a title in so long. And for them to finally win it, they've just got the biggest sigh of relief. On Sunday, I don't care who wins. We get the trophy. They get to lift that. I get to change my iPhone background, all that. And then next Saturday, Champions League final against PSG. The entire world think they're going to kick our ass. But unfortunately, we play go-to-hell ball. So we haven't given up a goal in almost 2 months. So if we play that, it's going to be very quiet for people. So shout out to everybody who's going to the parade next weekend after the Champions League final. Shout out my boy Nikhil. He's our executive producer on this show. He's shot a whole bunch of stuff. He's a day one Arsenal fan. And here's a kicker. They won the championship the day he graduated from college. He's having a tremendous week.
Oh, he's lit.
This guy is doing this Hollywood rock. Exactly. He's having a tremendous week. And since he's so young, this is the first time that any of his teams have won a championship. So I'm very happy for Nikhil. And I think he said he's going out there for the parade. So I will live vicariously through you as I watch the parade stream at 8 a.m. in the morning. So I just want to get that out of there, man. I'm very happy right now. If you follow me on Instagram and you man, everything this nigga posts, Arsenal, you better mute me to the second week of June. I'm just going to put that out there. I don't care if my stories got 1 view. Honestly, them for me. I watch it probably more than y'all do. I watch my stories like I didn't post it. Okay? So just putting that out there. I'm going to take these shades off because this light is it's fogging my joints up. Anyway, let's get to our rundown. Actually, not rundown. Before we get one more topic, and I'm not going to hold you section. By the way, I got to say this. So I will be making my TV debut this Sunday on GN Sports. I will be talking Bears. It's a 10:30 show, but I come on at 10:40. Check me out. I will post the link. It's on YouTube and whatever. But if you're in the Chicago area, I think WGN still plays in the Midwest area. I don't know. But check your boy out. I'm going to be talking Bears. OTA is in next week. I just got the email today. So the season's starting back up, man. So check that out. I was on ESPN Florida's affiliate yesterday morning talking to them about the stadium, which I no longer care about, by the way. And I said that on air. I do not care if they build it on the moon. Just get it done. And shout out to barbers. The more ridiculous barber you have, the better the line. And my barber yesterday told me that the stadium was going to be done by September. I was like, okay, I don't know how much yak you got in that cup on the side of the barber chair. No pun intended. But I'm gonna let you have that on because the fate of my lining is in your hands right now. But I just don't care. Let's just get it on. So it should be fun. Anyway, I listened to Drake album, ladies and gentlemen. Last week I said I didn't get a chance to listen to it. I listened to all three. And I say this with no Drake haterism whatsoever. I was disappointed. Now, I will say, Bang, I agree with you. Iceman is the strongest of the three. And I think he would do himself a much better service of just dropping that. I think he was trying to prove, you know how rappers do, or artists in general. Oh, I record so much. Let me show you all the music I record. Fans don't care about that. Like, that's artist stuff. I don't care how many songs you recorded unless those songs are good. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why Thriller only had 9 songs, and we probably heard like 2 other 3 songs from the Thriller sessions. All right. So I think Iceman was cool. I love Shebang. That joint is hard. Make 'em pay. Here's my thing with Make 'em pay. I love the beat. I love the hook and the harmonies, and I love the intent on the song. 2 things that angered me. One, Jay-Z would have ripped that beat. I just can't get that out of my head. Yeah. Hove would have went crazy on the beat. Number 2, the flow was crazy, but those bars were so terrible. It's ridiculous. Like, you know he wrote them. This was no ghostwriter. This was so far gone, comeback season level bars. It's terrible. I'm trying to look through my recently played to see what other joints I kept. Janice, the STFU, that joint's decent. I like that. It's a weird joint, but I like it. Whisper My Name, and then Classic off the Maid of Honor joint. The first half. And that's another thing. There's too many beat switches on this album, on these albums. Where the beat sounds great at first, then he want to do the typical Drake beat switch thing, except it's terrible. It just messes up the flow of the album. So as you can see, I only named 5 songs. Those are the only ones that really stood out to me out of these entire 3 albums. Like Iceman had the most cohesion. I think the first couple tracks Drake did what I feel like a lot of us have been asking for. He got more introspective in telling us things we wanted to know. But then he went back to doing his usual Drake thing. And I have no problem with him dissing Kendrick and Jay and really everybody who's involved in that beef the last 2 years. Some beefs are supposed to go on forever. Like I said last week, I laughed when Uncle Murder and Tony Ayo, ran Ja Rule down in First Class. Like they all 3 of them made in their 50s. I found that very funny. So I have no problem with him dissing Kendrick. But at this point, you might as well say his name. Like we already know. Like the only name you actually dropped was Khaled. And now I'm just like, okay, we don't care that you diss Khaled. Just say his name. And number 2, after you say the name, make the bars better. But I think my number 1 complaint here is Drake is known for bangers, right? Every Drake album has at least one joint, all right, that's going to go crazy when you go to the day party or the club or wherever you go. Yeah. My jersey's in the Raptors. I don't go out anymore, all right? So, but even if I don't go out no more, I've been out long enough to know, this is going to go crazy in the spot. There's not one song on any of these projects that I think is like a super, super crazy song. Like Shebang, you might get a little play. You know what I'm saying? But that's not a banger. Like when you listen to the album P&D that came out last year, you knew No Kid. It stood out like a sore thumb. we knew that was going to be the record. There's no record on here. And I think that's going to be something that's going to hurt him in the long term. And Drake has Instagram caption rap. I haven't seen any captions, like even from the Drake diehards that I follow on social media. I haven't seen none of that. And obviously, when the first week number, maybe they've come out already. I don't know. I haven't. Only time I've been on social media, I've been joy scrolling Arsenal content. So I have no idea what the Billboard numbers are for this. I'm assuming they're pretty good.
Oh no, they're talking to, well, the projections were between the 480 to 520
For just Iceman?
for Iceman.
Okay, that's pretty damn good. Okay, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna have the top 3 or whatever when the official numbers come out. That's cool, but there's no staying power here, and that's my issue with the album. If I'm taking my hater glasses off, now when I put my hater glasses on, my hater glasses are coming on. I'm like, damn, he really finished you. I didn't think it was going to be to that level. And I don't care about the numbers because Drake is Drake. He going to do what he going to do.
Yeah.
All right. He could fart for 12 songs. And some of y'all going to listen to it. Okay. So that's why I was just like, okay. If we're still talking about this album by the time July 4th rolls around, I would be surprised. That's my thoughts on the triple albums that Drake dropped.
I talked about it a lot on Some Dude this week. Just a brief synopsis of it pretty much is kind of what you said, IG raps, but waiting to see the IG raps end up on IG. I've seen it with a couple of women, but not in the full scale that I thought that I will see right now. If you want to go technical, when some people look at the listens has dropped on social media, well, not on social media, excuse me, but the streams. But I don't care about that. Like, those are not things that drive me into liking a project. It's how I feel because, as I always say, me and Mike B have a shirt that you can buy. What you listen to don't make me bop. And Iceman is cool. Like, it's cool. If I had to do it with the how,
Lukewarm, man.
if I had to put it on the how decent scale, it's decent. I won't turn it on in the house. I won't turn it on
But
in
it's
the
high
car.
register decent, like you just
Yeah, it's
did.
like, yeah, it's high register decent, but it's something that's not decent enough to where if I'm in the crib, I'm about to turn on the Drake. I'm not about to do that for this album, and I'm not about to do that for all 3 of them. But I'm not about to do it with that album. I'm not about to put it on in the car, or whatever. So, but it's decent. If somebody had control of the aux and they were playing it, I wouldn't be mad. Right? That's how I would do that. Um, I take into account that reportedly, allegedly, the 3 albums came out to get, to fulfill his requirements for
I feel like
UMG.
every artist says that when they drop a lot of
Right.
songs.
So, what I will say is this: you could have fulfilled that requirement in 3 weeks. Like, you could have dropped Ice. What I would have loved for Drake to do is let Iceman stand on his own for about a week or two. Let Habiti stay, like, be that for a week or two, and let Maid of Honor do that for a week or two. To give me 43 Drake songs to digest, pause, over a weekend is diabolical. It is not fair. But as a content creator, as a music lover, as a music critic, I did it. And I'm not going to listen to Maid of Honor ever again. And I'm not going to listen to Habiti ever again. Like, Mike said to me that I think it was Honestly Nevermind was supposed to be the R&B album. And I was like, nah, no, it wasn't. Honestly Nevermind was more
Very
of
good
a,
album.
it was more of a, it was more of a dance techno
Yeah.
where to
House
me,
music type
yeah,
album.
whereas Habiti was more like a 90s R&B album. It was a couple of songs that I was like, yo, this sounds like Bootleg Jodeci about to come on. But I'm never going to listen to these albums on purpose again. It's not
Yeah.
anything, not mad at it. I'm just saying there's not going to be something that, Gary, you are smoking rocks.
Yeah. I didn't even want to put that on here, but the hip hop has been really good since then. You missing out on a lot of great hip hop. If you think the 90s gets a protective shield, but that's an episode of Summer Sessions. We can talk that later.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
we like to act like Huff was never made in the 90s.
Oh, and it definitely was.
There was a lot of Huff. But
N- The
I'm with you.
'90s, the '90s are the beginning of filler songs.
I think the 90s in general, when we just not talking about music, I'm talking about culture, fashion, everything. And here's the thing that annoys me about 90s discourse. I know I'm going on a tangent, but like I said, this Barbershop Network, that's what we do. We get off topic. Which is what happens in a barbershop, which is why we do that. I lived in the 90s. Granted, I was a kid. I was 11 years old when the 90s ended. But I hate, and this may be just an old head take, when you see the Gen Zers and stuff, and they try to talk about the 90s like they were there. Well, that's like me talking about the early 80s. I don't know. I wasn't born till after, when I was born, Reagan was still president, but it was his last couple months. Who was after Reagan? Was it Bush Sr.?
It was Bush Sr.
Yeah, so Bush Sr. was like a week away from being elected when I was born. So I don't remember nothing about the 80s.
No.
But the 90s I can tell you about. Like this girl told me this one time. I hate people talking social media in real life, and she said, "Oh, I wish we had that 90s love. Can we please stop this?" Okay.
No,
There's no difference between 90s love and what we got going on. In fact, it was much easier to cheat back then. People had whole families living across the street.
Boy, I saw a lot of domestic abuse in the night
because it was cool and you can get away with it.
I don't want that 90s love. I can tell you right now, I don't want that 90s love. Hey, no, you
they
can
be like,
have it.
"Oh, my grandmother didn't leave my grandfather." Yeah, because your grandfather was smacking your grandma up, and it was cool back then. That's why. The only difference is we have the internet, and so it makes it like it thinks it's different. It's not.
No, it's not.
It's just not.
Just say you want that 90s television love. You don't want that 90s real life love.
No.
All right. No.
There's only two things I miss about the 90s: the economy and the Chicago Bulls being good. That is it. Yep. You think I want to stay in line to go watch a movie? Imagine me driving without iPhone maps.
You want to call movie phone?
Right. I remember when I went to go see Space Jam, and I had to wait in line to get tickets and hope they didn't sell out.
Yeah, you want to look at the newspaper and be like, "Oh, this come on at this time." No,
right.
No, you don't.
I remember TV guides. You know what I'm saying? Like, enough with the nostalgia. Okay, enough with it. I love turning on my smart TV and being able to watch any movie I want to watch at any time.
Whoa.
We got breaking news?
Yeah, we got some breaking news right here.
Okay, what we
got
got?
some breaking news right here. According to some things I'm seeing on social media, one led by Mr. Favor Flav, Rob Bass, known for Joy and Pain, and It Takes Two, is people are reporting that he has passed away.
First off, if it's true, R.I.P. The second thing I have to say, I probably shouldn't say on here. I thought he was already dead. Not gonna lie. But if that is true, R.I.P. I thought it was gonna be something. This is fucked up, but I thought it was gonna be something like Wemby wasn't gonna play tonight. I'm not gonna lie. That's what I thought it was.
Oh no, that's gonna happen. So we'll see. But of course, there are some reports that are starting to leak out that Rob Bass, It Takes Two, Joy and Pain, which shouts out to Mike Love from Mike Love and the Diz. I remember him saying I remember him specifically having the conversation about
Stacey Dash gonna be sad in 12 months. That's funny.
I remember him specifically having a conversation on the radio about Mystical and what was his Joy and Pain and what was his It Takes Two. And Rob Bass, those are his two biggest hits.
It takes two to make a thing all right.
Yeah. So if that is true, rest in peace.
Shout out to Flavor Flav, by the way. I saw him in a World Cup commercial with with Messi, Timothy Chalamet, Lamine Yamal, and Jude Bellingham. I was like, is that and Dennis Rodman's daughter, Trinity Rodman. She's actually a superstar. I know he mad. Anyway, let's let's go on to our actual rundown, man. So definitely we're gonna talk about NBA playoffs in just a minute. But I gotta talk about the Chicago White Sox, man, because I got a lot of a lot of texts last weekend when the White Sox beat the Cubs in the Crosstown Classic, which for the first time, actually not for the first time, but I didn't watch a second of it. Y'all know how I stand with my Bears, not Bears, but my Bulls White Sox boycott right now. And everybody kept texting me, "Oh man, you missing out. It's the beginning of a new era. You just come back." I was like, "It's not happening. It's not happening. I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. I'm not. It is May 22nd, okay? In Major League Baseball, I have watched enough Major League Baseball in my life to know you shouldn't even glance at the standings until earliest August 1st. So that's number one. There's too much baseball being played. Plenty of time for them to drop to the level that I know they're going to go back to. Number two, this is not about winning and losing. My boycott is not about winning and losing. If it was about that, I will never boycott. Because obviously, I can handle losing with being a fan of the Chicago Bears. Obviously, I can handle that. It's direction and it's ownership. Okay? So until they prove to me that they can develop a full package of what's what I'm looking for, prospects and make big boy trades and actually spend money in the free agency market, which to this day, the highest paid player in Chicago White Sox history is Andrew Benintendi at like $75 million. Now we have something Derek said in the chat. No, Rob Bass did not pass away. He was celebrating his 59th birthday.
Thank God. Well,
Thank God. Thank God. Shout out to Rob Bass. But so yeah, that's what I want to say. I'm not falling for it. Like, only one who I really think is legit is Murakami, and that's because he was.
Just because you were celebrating your 69th birthday, 59th birthday, that don't mean
That's also very true.
Go look at Kyle Busch. All right, hey,
Yeah,
Kyle Busch
Kyle
won
Busch.
a race 6 days ago.
That is very true. That's very true. Did TMZ say anything, or this is just Flavor Flav?
I mean, it's just Flavor Flav, but you know, TMZ be like
A little late now.
later now.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. Hopefully, it's not true. But yeah, it's not about winning and losing. It's about direction. And to this day, the highest paid player in the history of the Chicago White Sox is Andrew Benintendi at like $75 million. How are you, big MLB franchise in the third biggest market and the highest contract you've ever thrown out is $75 million? It's ridiculous. And the guy who his main job was to develop the talent on the last rebuild team, they gave him the general manager job. So excuse me if I'm still skeptical. If Colson Montgomery might be a guy, that's fine. Let's just say he's a guy category, right? It's him and Murakami. That's two dudes. I don't know if y'all know, but a lot more people than that play baseball. Where are the arms at? Where you develop? So there's just so many things that they've got to do before I feel like they're going in the right direction. And yes,
it's confirmed.
It's confirmed?
It is confirmed. Variety just dropped it that Rob Bass just celebrated his 59th birthday 4 days ago, died on May 22nd after having a private battle with cancer.
Oh, wow. R.I.P. Rob Bass. R.I.P. But yeah, what I was saying about the White Sox, I'm just not falling for it. I'm not, and it's the same thing with the Bulls. By the way, got a video dropping on Monday. Me and my guy Cam Smith from Chicago Sports Network, we had a nice 30-minute conversation about the future of the Bulls. So that'll be on my YouTube channel on Monday. So check that out. Yeah, so look, man, I'm not here to tell you how to fan. If you're a White Sox fan and you want to get happy about this, by all means. I'm not here to gatekeep fandom. I think it's the dumbest shit in the world. It's like people last year when the Bears were winning, and there were so many new Bears fans. I have never seen that amount of good-looking women at Bears games ever in my life, and I've been going to home games faithfully for 6 seasons now. Okay, I have no problem with people, joining the ship. We have this. You gotta suffer the same thing I suffered. Crap.
Yeah, no.
Hove went through that, so hopefully you ain't gotta go through that. I watched 4 quarterbacks play on Thanksgiving 2004, so you didn't have to go through that. I watched Shane Matthews. I watched Jim Miller go head to head with Donovan McNabb before getting his head cleared in the second quarter. You know what I'm saying? I've dealt with drafting Mitch Trubisky over Patrick Mahomes and Freaky Sean. You ain't got to go through that, so I'm happy that y'all new fans don't have to go through that. So I say that for the White Sox fans, if you want to have fun, do it. But keep me out of it. All right? That's what I'm going to say about that. Do you have any thoughts on the White Sox before we move on? Or
Look, I'm just gonna say this. I am happy to see excitement around it. I'm not there yet. I'm with you. I'm not there yet. This season, I am not there yet. But what I will say is I am happy to see what I am seeing. It is better to see this than what we're seeing with the team like the Bulls, right? They have promise. They have a number of people in their farm system that have promise. I know Kyle Till is dealing with another knee injury again and stuff, but I'm at least happy to see what we're seeing there. I'm not saying that these cats is about to go win the AL Central and surprise everybody and win the AL crown and go to the World Series. I ain't saying that, but I'm happy to see some excitement. And talking to my man Ryan, who is the in-game host for the Chicago White Sox. I asked him about the Crosstown Classic, and he said that people are basically saying that this was the most energy that they've seen in a Crosstown Classic since the early 2000s. So I am happy to see that. That's what I'm happy for. Not about to sit up here and raise the flag and think that they're about to go win the AL Central or the AL Crown. But it's good to see that. It is good to see life on the South Side.
no, it's 100% good to see it. I'm glad to see that people are getting back out to the ballpark, and I also find it very funny that the Cubs have fallen off the map since that series. I mean, they're losing right now to the Astros 4-2, and I don't even think the Astros have won 10 games yet. Maybe they have, but they've been bad. Um, but I'm just saying, leave me out of it, okay? and it's not just the White Sox, but them sorry bums who play on the West Side too, okay? I have very strict requirements for what I am looking for me to come back. What women used to say, not used to say, still do, earn me, okay? White Sox, Bulls, earn me. So anyway, let's go to the NBA playoffs, man. Tonight, game 3 of the Western Conference Finals between the San Antonio Spurs and defending NBA champion Oklahoma City Thunder, taking place in the Alamo for game 3. Now, there's some injuries to talk about. J-Dub, Jalen Williams is out. Um, he has a hamstring issue again. I think he's might be out for the rest of the playoffs. I'm not a doctor. Nobody told me that. But, being a Bulls fan means I'm an expert on lower level injuries. When you have a hamstring injury and you miss basically the first 2 rounds and you come back, didn't look that good in game 1, by the way.
Nah.
And in game 2, you pull it again. I think he's done. And then Dylan Harper, he's game time decision tonight. I think he had like an oblique injury or some shit like that in game 2, where he left.
Now I want to say it was his hammy too. I was watching the game and when
they said today it wasn't a hamstring on ESPN.
Oh, it wasn't, because when he went down, he grabbed. That's what he grabbed.
Yeah, they said it wasn't a hamstring. Let me find the exact article. That's why they said he was a game time. Let's see. Go to the news. Yeah, Harper game time call.
Oh, abductor.
Yeah, abductor injury. So you got that. Is De'Aaron playing today?
No.
He's questionable.
I think. Yeah.
Which means he's not gonna play. This is my take for the first two games. First of all, very entertaining basketball. I think if you're a team in the Western Conference right now and you're not the Thunder or the Spurs, you're probably screwed for the next decade. That's the number one thing that I'm taking from this series. And we'll get into the Knicks in just a minute, but I do feel the winner of this conference final is going to be the NBA champion. But I know it's only 1-1. I think the Thunder are in trouble, man. I really think the Thunder's in trouble. Now, this is a team that in the 7 games that they've played, they have beat them 5 out of the 7 times, the San Antonio Spurs. So they clearly have that number. As I'm watching this game, usually watch the Thunder against different opponents, and in these first 2 rounds of the playoffs, they have the control. Like, even if they're down a couple points, maybe even down double digits, they're going to come back. It feels like they've got to exert so much energy just to stay in the game with the Spurs. And I thought game 1 was very telling because I feel like they had to play the best game of their lives to push it to OT and to push it to other OT. And then they just ran out of energy. And the Spurs are just moving. Deep bench, Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle. They got an elite bench. And they're doing all this without De'Aaron Fox. It just makes me think that maybe this young team is a year ahead. And they might actually win it this year. Now, I'm not counting the Thunder out. They're the champions. They deserve the benefit of the doubt. And they did win game 2 to make this 1-1. But I would not be surprised that by the end of this weekend, if the Spurs are heading back to OKC up 3-1, I don't think that would be a shock. Now, I hope that doesn't happen because I think this has the ingredients to be a classic conference finals and to go 7 games. And I hope it goes 7 games as a neutral. But something just tells me they're just too much for other teams to do. And Wemby, I know like how impressive it is. He shoots from the logo. He can do all these different athletic things. But defensively, he's one of the greatest defensive players I've ever seen already. Like, teams don't even consider going to the paint when Wemby's there. It's 2 different ball games. Force them into jump shots. And I thought that was a big thing towards the end of game 1. So, yeah, I think OKC is in trouble, man. And we're not surprised if this goes only to 5. What's your thoughts on the first 2 games?
Man, the first game went exactly like the first game went how I thought it was gonna go at the end of the game throughout the whole entire game. Um, I didn't like that OKC was having that long layoff and having to go up against a team that had that number all year long. Now that second game, I think OKC found something because they were playing fast, and Isaiah Hardenstein was hacking all game long. He was getting his Bubba Wells on without getting the 6 fouls called on
Which
him.
his own teammates said. Yeah,
Yeah,
Shea say the defending was not good.
yeah. So I mean, OKC probably should be up. I mean, not OKC, excuse me. The Spurs should probably be up 2-0. But I think with Dylan Harper being hurt and them playing faster than normal, I think they found something there. They're still not out of the woods yet because I mean you got Shea and everything, and Chet played pretty decent. But with Jalen Williams, and I feel you, I don't think he's going to be back for the season. I think this is it for him, or at least we're going to get a couple of minutes out of him in the finals if
if
they were
they're
to go. But
lucky, he
that's
comes
if they're
back
lucky.
late in the finals.
Right, and that's if they're lucky.
Yeah.
That is a huge loss for them. And no matter what's going on San Antonio, that is a huge loss for OKC and injuries hitting both teams. But I am more positive when it comes to the Spurs than I am OKC.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I want to talk about Wemby, man. Wemby, I've never seen a player in his 3rd year be 100% is advertised. No, that's not me sneak dissing LeBron because LeBron obviously was as advertised the first game in Sacramento. Ray Charles could see when he went to Arco Arena and dropped 25, 8, and 7 or whatever it was. Oh, this dude is actually for real. But he wasn't, let me see, 03, 04. He wasn't in the NBA finals in his third year with a legit shot to win it. Like when he went his fourth year, we all knew that the Cavs was getting washed by the Spurs. Like
Yeah.
nobody thought they were even gonna win the game. Like I remember, I don't even think I watched. I think I watched game one, and I seen this the Spurs make easy work of them. And I was like, I'm not watching the rest of this. But the Spurs can actually win the championship this year, and I think it surprises everybody, including the Spurs, that it's moved this fast. But he's a guy who has the mentality. He has we talked about nostalgia earlier in the show. He has a throwback mentality. He wants it. He defends, which is what I think I love the most about Wemby. He defends. You know, he can do everything on the basketball court. The only fear I have for him is, you know, lanky players, lanky tall players like him usually stay hurt. So I really hope that's not in his future. But I don't think we've seen anybody like Wemby come in and make this instant impact in winning ways like we've seen from him. Like you look at some of his stat line. I think the other night he had like 25. Uh, no, he had 42, 25, and 5. Like you can't even do that on 2K, bro. Go out there on 2K and try to get 41 points, 24 rebounds, and 5 blocks. You're not getting it, especially not the blocks. You can put that on rookie with the sliders up. You still not getting 5 blocks. So you see a player like that do that, and then you see just the way his team comes. I think that the team is very deep, and we don't give them enough respect for the depth. Bang, what's your favorite phrase? Real GM building hours.
Real GM building hours, yeah.
The
That's me.
San Antonio Spurs GM has been in his bag. He's found gem after gem that even when you have a series, like even though it's against a lesser opponent like the Portland Trailblazers, when Wemby missed 2 games, they didn't miss a beat. Like you forget that De'Aaron Fox has been playing. And even if Dylan Harper don't play tonight, I still love their chances. And so I just think with Wemby, I said this when I did my NBA playoff preview when the playoffs started almost 2 months ago now. I don't know about you, Bang, by the way. These playoffs are flying by.
Yes.
It really feels like the first round was last week and the NBA Finals is in 2 weeks. So when I said on there, I was doing it with Pavi, and I said, if the NBA lets Victor Wembanyama win a championship in his 3rd season, you guys are screwed. For the next decade, you're screwed. Barring injury, you are screwed because he's just going to get better. This team's window is open. Now, that doesn't mean OKC isn't going to go anywhere. I'm not saying they're going to three-peat. It's very hard. I think repeating is a new three-peat. I don't think we ever going to see a three-peat again.
It's going to be difficult.
Yeah, it's already been 24 years.
It's going to be difficult, but let me just say this. I said this on some dude. I said here, if the San Antonio Spurs, with how young this team is and how young and competitive and how the team is built and everything, and they got cap room, if the San Antonio Spurs win this title right here, they're getting 2 more in a row.
See, that's the thing. We said that about the last 2 champions. By the way, the Thunder can still do it. I'm not counting the Thunder out.
But see, here's the difference though. Here's the difference. The difference is when you look at the talent team for team, there's one thing that I think people are starting to notice now. But there's one thing that I see from San Antonio that I don't see from OKC yet. San Antonio don't let shit bother them.
Bro, at all. The experience conversation don't matter.
It does not matter. They don't let things bother them. It's like, let's go back to what I said last week when Wemby got when Wemby got suspended for that elbow. I think that was the worst thing that could have happened in that series because Wemby came back pissed. Yeah. Wemby came back mad. I'm not saying that OKC don't have the killer instinct, but look at Chet. Chet don't have that killer instinct.
Chet out here letting Alex Caruso guard Wemby.
And that right there says a lot to me. OKC, and I did say this at the beginning of the year, Scott, and now people are starting to say it. So I'm going to say it again because I think that I was one of the first people that said it. And I didn't even say it at the beginning of the year. I said last year, if you can remember, I said if the OKC Thunder did not win the title last year, go ahead and pony up and get Giannis.
You did say that.
Then they won the title, and I was like, maybe they ain't got to. Fam, if they don't win the title, they're gonna have to pony up, and they're gonna
To
go
get
get
Giannis.
Giannis.
Low key, just to cancel out Wemby, they might have to.
They're gonna have to. You're gonna give up Chet, a couple of picks, maybe one more player for Giannis, and some assets that
It's
you can
gonna
just
be
fill out the
Chet,
team with.
AJ Mitchell, a couple of them picks they got, and then you got Shea, J Dub, and Giannis. You gonna
Because
need some.
because if Wimby Nim gets this title, and the secret weapon is no longer on the sidelines,
Nope.
he's. You think as long as Greg Popovich is alive, you think he gonna let that team let up? The coach is still going to him and being like, "Yo, OG,
And even outside
the
of that,
players."
Wemby said he trains with Tim Duncan and David Robinson all the
That's what I'm
time.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like this team, I don't think people realize how insulated this team is, and they're not settling for less.
Yeah,
You got Tim Duncan, who probably low key could be the coach of the Spurs right now.
probably.
He could be the coach of the Spurs right now, and probably is not the coach of the Spurs right now because he don't want to do it. He don't want
Yeah.
to commit to that. But hey, Wimby, you need something, David. Man, I
I
don't
live
think
down the street from the facility. I pull up.
I don't think people realize that this team has a killer instinct about them now.
And there's a couple other things though to piggyback off that. Wemby likes training with other legends too. Did you see the clip about KG saying he was training
Yeah.
with Wemby?
Yes, I seen them.
He's one
Yeah.
of the few people who trained with Hakeem and actually learned from Hakeem.
So
That's a
yeah,
problem.
I,
And here's the wild card. I hope people ready for this. They're gonna trade De'Aaron Fox this offseason
yep.
because Dylan Harper's got to start, and you're gonna get a decent amount for De'Aaron because he's still young, and it's gonna make this team even better. So you're right. At this point, if the Thunder don't get it done, and I'm not counting them out yet, they've been down in series last season. They were down against the Nuggets. They were down in the NBA Finals. Not counting them out. But if they do lose, you might have to press the Giannis button because what would that dude say? Yeah, I'm nervous, but I packed that thing too. You're gonna have something to pack because when he gets that championship, it's gonna get dark because he gonna want more. And I wish well, I do. I think that Wemby hates Chet as much as I hate Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
Like he hates that man. And not Rodgers, but by the way, Rodgers, he's retiring this year. Fuck you. It's about time. Good riddance. But with Chet, he's running away from the assignment. When I saw J Dub and Alex Caruso guarding this 7'5" man, it looked like how I would look if I was trying to guard KD. What are we doing? Like, show up. And I think that's going to be the fundamental issue here for OKC. I personally don't see OKC winning tonight. I find it very hard. Like, they could losing game one was the worst thing they could have did in this series because that home court advantage. Remember how hard it was to play in San Antonio in the Duncan Ginobili Duncan era, and then later when Kawhi came, it's back like that. So it's gonna be an issue. That's why I'm really excited to see tonight's game to see how that's gonna go.
Yeah.
Any last comments before we go to the Eastern Conference?
Nah, I'm just saying. I would just say, real GM hours. You have two teams that is invested in their GMs, invested in their teams through the draft. So when you start to look at some of these teams that you see in the future, you start to see what Memphis might do, what the Bulls might be trying to do, and others like this. I I said it before, I'll say it again. I think we're getting back to real GM hours, and you're going to start seeing teams build it this way. I don't think there's another Wimby that's out there, and if so, that's scary as hell. And what planet is he coming from? But man, I am very excited for this next era for the NBA.
Definitely, man. And speaking of real GM hours, my guy Cam Smith got me kind of hyped for Bryson Graham. He actually, explained, he broke it down pretty well. So watch that on Monday. So if you want any optimism about the Bulls, watch this video I got dropping on Monday, because I came into this video telling Cam, prove me wrong. And Cam had a lot of good points. So I will watch that on Monday and check that out. And he also tells me who he thinks is going to be the next head coach. Very interesting answer involved in the San Antonio Spurs camp. So check out the video.
I know who that is.
On Monday. So let's get to the Eastern Conference, man. The New York basketball Knicks. I know so many Knicks fans. Shout out to all my brothers and all the homegirls in New York. I'm not a Knicks fan. I don't like the Knicks at all. I love watching the Knicks lose. And I don't even know why, because historically the Bulls have always beat the Knicks. So I don't even know why I don't like it. I'm going to tell you, actually, it's not the Knicks. It's New York sports. It's because I have so many New York sports fan homies. I don't want them to be happy. I think that's just all it is. I laugh when the Yankees lose. I laugh when the Giants and the Jets lose. But this Knicks team, they have won 9 in a row in the playoffs. Remember, they were down 2-1 to the Hawks in the first round. Everybody was like, oh, Hawks can push these boys to 7. They might lose. Mike Brown don't know how to play defense. They blew cats out for like 4 or 5 games in a row. Games weren't even close. Now they've won 9 in a row. Game 1. What did you say up here last week, Bane? We were talking about James Harden. Game 1 showed you why James Harden will never know playoff peace. And I'm not just solely blaming Harden, by the way. I'm going to shoot him some bail. That was shambolic from that whole team. I don't know what Kenny Atkinson thought he was doing. I don't know what Donovan Mitchell thought he was doing. I don't know what Jared Allen, anybody on that team. How do you blow a 22-point lead with 6 minutes left? And you know what annoys me more than anything? When people play 2K ball, when you're up and you can feel the momentum shifting and you shooting threes to try to get the momentum back. You're up 15 plus. Go to the basket. Get a quick layup. At worst, you're going to go to the free throw line. I just didn't understand it. And once that lead got cut down to 10, I was like, they're not winning this game. Like, there's no way they're winning this game. When they made it to overtime, it was just a formality. And shameful performance. We can sit up here. We can talk about what Jalen Brunson can do. You can't build around a guard. I've even said that before. I'm not immune to those criticisms. Becky Hammond has said that. But Jalen Brunson is a hooper, bro. In fact, the Knicks, however much they paid him, that's a bargain. He has changed that franchise on so many levels. Karl Anthony Towns, as much as we talk about Cat is soft and everything, Cat has taken this team to another level. He's unlocked something they did not have. This bench, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, even though Josh Hart is a sorry Chelsea fan who went on a podcast this week and said the refs are the reason that Arsenal won the title. You got bigger things to worry about, my guy. Don't be talking about us. But anyway, Josh Hart, you've got all these different bench players. OG Anunoby, which is a very key trade. Real GM and hours for everybody over the Knicks. That was a great trade that I didn't think was going to be that big of a deal. But that trade kind of changed the course of the Knicks. Grand Theft Alvarado, that whole bench, even Landry Shamet was getting into a game 1. Yeah. Landry Shamet had like 6 to 9 points off the bench in that run that got him back in it. And I got to give some love to the brother Mike Brown, because I said on this show a year ago, his signing was a 40-degree day. He is finding a way to take this team to places that Tibbs couldn't take them. I don't know if the Knicks can beat the Thunder or beat the Spurs. And honestly, at this point, and I didn't say this before the final, before the West Conference Finals, but now with J-Dub being hurt probably for the rest of the year, if I'm the Knicks, I kind of want to face the Thunder. You know, if I'm Adam Silver, I am praying for Knicks Spurs. You got the greatest story in basketball right now in the Knicks, and you got your new face of the league in Victor Wembanyama. That is box office right there. But for the first time in my life, well, not first time in my life, but the first time since I've been 6 years old, I can legitimately say the Knicks can win the championship this year. They have a puncher's chance. I don't think they beat any of these two teams, but when the last time you will look at the Knicks like, it wouldn't surprise me. They're going to give it their best go. What's your thought on how the Knicks have been playing and their title chances?
Hey, look, the king of the play hards. I'm not mad at it. I'm
That's
not
true.
at the king of the play hards. I'm not mad at anything that you just said right here. Um, Based off of the fact of what you just said, which is that they have a puncher's chance. Somebody get hurt, somebody get injured. There you go. There's a possibility of somebody being able to take that crown right there. No, you got two teams on that side that's dealing with injuries right now. So yeah, anything can happen from there. But that is where your puncher's chance begins and ends. I don't see a world where the Knicks win without a major injury on one of those two teams in the West. And part of it is because they're try hard team. They're going to run out of steam. The best bet that the Knicks have is to sweep the Cleveland Cavaliers
And rest as long as they can.
and rest as long as you can and watch OKC and the San Antonio Spurs battle it out in 7 games. And you know what's odd in me saying that? The tryhard team don't need no break. You don't want them to have a break. They want to keep
Okay.
that
They
momentum.
started game one real rusty.
Yep, they started it real rusty, but when you look at what's going to happen in the West, yeah, they need them teams to beat each other up, and then they just pick up the carcass.
I do think that the Knicks, and it pains me to say this, the Knicks being good is great for the league. It is. Madison Square Garden is jumping. And I do want to say this. Stop showing Knicks celebrity row. Like I'm gonna sound like somebody who lived in
You
LA for
can't.
10 years.
You
This is why you gotta stop. Because it's the same people in every game. I can tell you what Knicks celebrity row is gonna be like right now. It's gonna be Chris Rock, it's gonna be Ben Stiller and his wife, it's gonna be Susie from Curb Enthusiasm, Bobby Bacala from Sopranos,
Woody
Tracy
Allen
Morgan,
Woody Allen
Timothy
still come to the
Chalamet,
games?
Woody Allen. You might see Doug Heffernan, my man Kevin James every now and then. No, the real celebrities are at Laker games.
Come on, man.
It's true.
Scott, you know it's not NBA on NBC if they don't show the celebs at
I
the
get
Knicks
it.
games.
But this is the thing I'll give them though. They're real fans. At Laker games, if you haven't been to a Laker game, I don't care what era of Laker basketball, it's just date night, bro. People go on the Laker games just because it's the club. Like, I done run into people at Laker games. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll see Leonardo DiCaprio chilling, Denzel, Rihanna. I'm talking about the stars of the stars. It's not me crapping on the New York side. They're actual
You are,
fans. They're actual fans, so they're gonna be there every game. You ain't gotta show them. We know who's gonna be there. With the Laker celebrity row, I don't know who's gonna show up. We might get David Beckham might be in town. He might show up. You might, the only constant Laker games now, and not even Jack, because Jack too old to lead the house. Flea from Hot Chili Peppers. You gonna see who's another diehard Laker fan. Macaulay Culkin's wife. What's her name? Brenda Song. Yeah, there's a couple of diehard Laker fans. But you gonna get the top of the top who just want to be seen. I want to see maybe Jay-Z pops out to a Laker game. You know what I'm saying? I already know who's gonna be in that game. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to see Ben Stiller 80 times. By the way, the new Fox movie, we will be there.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
We
real.
will be there.
That's real comedic cinema
Real
hours. We
comedic
will be
cinema
there.
hours. I like Ariana Grande's addition to the movie series. I will be there. But yeah, James Harden, man, just a shameless man. And honestly, I don't think he cares. I really don't think James Harden cares. I think James Harden is here to get a check and play wherever he wants to play in that city is going to give him a check. And honestly, I kind of respect it at this point. He's never going to be in these elite conversations. He's an elite bag getter.
Forget it. Hey, it is what it
If we
is.
talking about the bag getter Hall of Fame, he's in there. Kirk Cousins in there. Chase Daniel in there. I would take a financial class from Kirk Cousins and his agent. Like, they just get money. And Kawhi Leonard, I've never seen a player like Kawhi Leonard get 2 championships, say, you know what? I'm done trying to prove things to y'all. I'm just going to half-ass it for the rest of my career. Nobody gets more grace than Kawhi Leonard. Like, that Raptors championship was 7 years ago. But never in your life, since the Toronto Raptors were brought into the NBA, did you ever think that they would hoist the Larry O.B.?
Yeah, no.
Ever. By the way, shout out the guy who I want to hire, by the way, Masai Ujiri. He probably my favorite point guard this week.
He
Jason
did.
Kidd got fired.
And Brian Crawford went viral because of Michael Carter Williams and Larry Legend.
Oh, I didn't see it. What they go
Oh,
viral
so
for?
Larry Legend talked about. So Larry talked about.
Shout out to Lero.
Yeah, Laro talked about Jason Kidd getting fired. Brian Crawford talked about how he talked to a NBA source that basically was like, "Yo, Jason Kidd ain't shit," basically. And then Michael Carter Williams was like, "Yo, I've been trying to tell people for years," and that went viral.
Two more things before we wrap this episode up. It's a shorter episode. We only got a couple more episodes left. We're gonna be over when the NBA Finals ends, and then we back around NFL season. But I want to have a little journalism talk for a little bit. This wasn't on the rundown, but I just thought about it.
Oh, okay.
Um, I was watching on Levitar. I love when Levitar gets in his trying to save journalism, but I know it's dead bag.
Yeah.
And everybody on the show is like, damn, it's over. You know, you talk about two of the things that really had the internet buzzing over the last week. The number one thing was Shams breaking the MVP news about 12 hours before Amazon Prime had a chance to announce that Shea was MVP. And to the point where the Amazon Prime crew was shooting the Shams. To the point where Blake Griffin was like, come on, you nerd, it's a Sunday. Go to brunch or something. By the way, I will say this. I don't care how athletic Blake Griffin is. I don't care how much money Blake Griffin is. One person who's not going to call me a nerd is Blake Griffin. Okay? That's just never going to happen. All right? So don't take that, Shams. Shams is super cool, by the way. I'm going to name drop. I met Shams at a Laker game. And I told him I was from Chicago. And he's like, oh, yeah, man. Chi-Town love. As soon as he said that, I knew he was from the suburbs. That's neither here nor there. But I was like, he's never been on the CTA day in his life.
He from Rolling
You
Meadows.
can tell who's been on the red line, fearing for their life before, and who hasn't. But you had that conversation, and then you have the Jaylen Brown, Stephen A. Smith thing, where Jaylen Brown is upset. And I'm not a Stephen A. fan right now, obviously. I don't think he really said anything bad. I thought he was trying to give Jaylen some advice. Like Nick Wright said, he's talking like a mobster.
Yo, he been nah. You know what? I would agree with Nick Wright in this if man, if I ain't been seeing Stephen A. Smith go out of his way to salute Jaylen Brown until Jaylen Brown did that damn stream where he had said what he said, which sounded stupid
when he said this was his favorite season of his career.
Yeah,
not the year he won championship and finals MVP.
Yeah, it's like, fam, you don't realize what you just said, but no. And that just shows me, look, the Stephen A. Smith, the Stephen A. Smith thing, I think is twofold. One, the Jaylen Brown, Stephen A. Smith thing shows me that people don't care what you say good about them. They only
Yeah.
care about
Yeah, bro, what bad you
what,
say.
and it ain't even necessarily bad. It's what you disagree with. Because I am telling you right now that when I say that that man, Stephen A. Smith, I felt like was going out of his way to salute Jaylen Brown all year long. The first thought that I had was, oh, I know what this is. They did that interview. Him and Stephen A came to an agreement to some shit or whatever.
I remember that interview.
Yeah, they did the interview or whatever. They came to some type of agreement or whatever. And Stephen A. Smith gonna make it look like, yo, that's the boy, that's the homie. We came to an agreement. He don't agree with everything that I said, but everything is cool. Everything is smooth. Everything is cool. And then the moment that Stephen A. Smith says, which I believe him to be right on, fam, you're doing too much. The season over with, y'all lost 3-1. On this one, it is best for you
To
to
just be quiet.
just to be quiet and let the dust settle. Jaylen Brown didn't like that. And
Yeah.
I know he heard all of the love that Stephen A. Smith gave this man. Said that this man was a top 3 MVP candidate. That man is gonna be spooky hours if he lead them to its finals and all of that stuff. Stephen A. Smith has gone out of his way all season long to show that man love. And the one time Jaylen Brown said he heard something that he didn't agree with, fuck Stephen A. Smith. See, that
Or Stephen B. Smith, as
Stephen
he
A.
called
Stephen talking
himself.
about you should retire and all of that stuff. And I'm with Stephen A. So should I retire when I was saying that you should have been that you was a top 3 MVP candidate? Should I have retired when I said that this is a great season for you because you got the 1A or 1B player not playing on the team and now this is your team and you yeah, nah. On that one right there, that gets on my nerves when it comes to players or anybody because you get told 7 things great about you by one person, and the only thing you heard is the 8th. Flip side though, yeah, Stephen A. Smith got to cool it with the whole, yo, I'll
He be
make an
talking like he
example out
Tony
of you.
Soprano.
Yeah, you know what? And this is how this is the clickbait thing and all of that stuff. Um, Jason Williams, Jay Williams. Jay Williams, when they had this segment on First Take, he said something that I know Stephen A. Smith didn't listen to. He didn't listen to it. If I was Stephen A. Smith, I wouldn't even gave it a thought. But Stephen A. Smith feels that because he has his platform, that he can use this platform to be able to shoot back at anybody. And some stuff don't have to, you don't have to do that with certain things. And Jay Williams says something that I thought not only Stephen A. Smith should listen to, but all of these athletes turned podcasters and all of these people, like that he said, Stephen A., please be the adult in the room. That's what he said. Be the adult in the room. That man is a 29-year-old NBA player, and there's he's in his feelings about things. He's upset. Please don't turn this into anything more than it is because you are the adult in the room. And
But
Stephen A.
Jalen got
Smith
mad at
didn't
Kendrick
do that.
Perkins too.
Well, that's who he's supposed to get mad at. See, that's the thing. He's supposed to. And Kendrick Brown was like, look, he gave Shea Cornette his phone and was like, read this. And she said, yep, prominent former Boston Celtics player, fist pound. Yo, you were speaking the truth, yada, yada, yada. That's who he should be mad at. Be mad at the former NBA player. Be mad at the former NBA player who won a championship at the team that you won the championship with. Be mad at the player that you're going to mess around and see when they do a reunion game, a team reunion game,
He can
and
come
all
up to
of
the
this stuff.
facility whenever he wants. He won a
Right.
championship there.
Be mad at him. And you know who's more than willing to engage?
Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah, be mad at that guy. But and Kendrick Perkins, shoot back. Because both of y'all are Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
What I am saying is in the Stephen A case, I'm with you. I thought that was bullshit. I thought that was Bush League. I thought that was uncalled for by Jaylen Brown, especially when you've been a card carrying member of the Jaylen Brown fan club all this season. And the one thing you said that he didn't like now was all of a sudden, fuck you. With that being said, Stephen A has to stop acting like he's Tony Soprano. He has to stop talking like he has sent a hit off on somebody. Because, fam, just because, I'll say this now in this, because I think people have it messed up when you are willing to engage with anybody because you're willing to go see somebody. Yo, I'll fly to come have this conversation with you. I'll get on your podcast and all this. See, that's the journalist side, and there's the because you going on WGN on Saturday on Sunday, then there's this side of it. Stephen A, you got to understand that people ain't playing with you, and everybody ain't willing to have a debate. Everybody ain't willing to have a conversation, and all it takes is for you to run up to that one NBA player because you say you willing to have a conversation. Some people would take that as a threat just because you saying that. Everything does not have to be discussed because you got 15 platforms. Let Jaylen Brown be Jaylen Brown. And when he's talking and you're ignoring it, guess who looks like the fool? He do. The minute you engage because you got a platform, guess who looks like the bigger fool? You, because you're the adult, you're the grown guy. And Nick Wright is right. It makes journalists look bad because oh man, now everybody that's coming up now gonna feel like they gotta be Tony Soprano Jr. in order to let these former players know what it is. Like, nah, fam, just do the damn show. And that's it. That's it.
I 100% agree. I will say too on the Shams thing. Look, man, I understand why I think the Amazon Prime crew was upset because I think their bosses were upset. I 100% believe the MVP announcement was part of the media negotiations to get Amazon those set of games, and they were mad that ESPN got them for them. It is not Shams' job to care about the NBA's media deal or to care about what Amazon Prime has to do. It is Shams' job to get the scoop for his employer, and nobody does that better than him. Now, we'll say this. If this happened in the NFL, Roger Goodell would have had Shams locked up in a basement somewhere.
Yep.
He rules with an iron fist, unlike Baldy, who runs the NBA. All right. So I will say that. But on the Stephen A thing, I'm with you. I will say this one last thing and I'll wrap it up. When it comes to media and athletes, I find it very funny how when athletes criticize the media and say they shouldn't do this, that, and third. And I do believe media, especially this new era of media of podcasters, they go a little bit too far. Now, I talk a lot of shit, but I really try not to make it personal with these players. So if I'm ever run up by a player, I'm talking facts. I'm talking about what I saw on the court, on the field, on the pitch, on the ice, whatever. So you can argue. I'm not saying nothing about you personally, unless you're Aaron Rodgers, and I stand on business with that. Please knock me out so I can sue you for every dollar you got. Please. But besides that, you try to keep it non-personal. But I do find it funny when athletes, then they try to dabble in media, and they become the thing that they hated. And that's what I just find interesting. I do believe Jaylen needs to stay away from streaming. Why are you streaming, bro? Just go away. That's why I feel like the advice that Stephen A was trying to give him was right. But I also feel whenever they had that kumbaya or whatever, Jaylen Brown really wasn't with it. And that's why something that small triggered him. Because if it was really all good, he'd laughed it off or wouldn't even care. Or maybe would have took it in a different light. But it's also because Stephen A. Smith's reputation precedes him, no matter what his intentions were. He comes on TV talking like a mob boss. He, in all words, pretty much threatened Kevin Durant on television multiple times. I don't know if any of y'all met KD. It's the tallest man I ever met in my life. His hand is probably bigger than Stephen A's entire body. He will smack the daylights out of him, right? Like, I walked out a door with KD at the same time. It was like 4 of me just to get to his height. It's ridiculous. But he talks to these people, and I hate this. Is the number one thing I hate with Stephen A. Oh, I know things about you, bro. Why you being a chatty patty? Like, don't be threatening me with stuff you know about me. It's just too much, man. I think we're in an era right now where stuff like this, it's like we watching Basketball Wives, man. Like, it's just enough. That's just how I feel about that. Anyway, that's all we got for y'all today. Memorial Day weekend, Bang. I know you're going to Atlanta. Birthday bash. I'm gonna be enjoying my weekend this weekend, chilling, barbecuing. I will be on GN Sports, 10:30 on Sunday. Tune in. If you missed the live show, I will have the link so you can check it out later. I will be talking Bears, so look out for that. New episode of Soccer for Dummies out right now on my YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Scott's World of Sports. Road to 1K subscribers. We at like 683 right now. If you're too lazy to scroll down, please scan the QR code right here on the screen. I pressed the wrong one. Hold on. There we go. Scan that QR code, and it will take you right to my YouTube channel, man. So, Bang, anything you want to promote before we get up out of here?
Nah, man. Hey, some dude pie episode out right now. First Black Champ episode out right now. Happy belated birthday to Cam from the Port.
And happy belated birthday to you. Happy birthday to Pav. And happy Memorial Day, everybody. Drink a lot of alcohol. Eat a lot of barbecue. Spend time with your loved ones. And we will holler at y'all next Friday right here on the show. We about here.